What's going on, guys? So I got a couple things. So I work in athlete development, strength conditioning, sports performance, whatever title you want to give it, strength and conditioning coach, athletic performance coach, physical preparation coach, all those things, right? And so I get a lot of questions about, like, training for kids, and I have parents come up and ask me all the time, when should my kids start lifting weights? When should my kids start training? And the answer is always, it depends, right? It depends on the age level and maturity of that child. It depends on the seriousness of you and that child's athletic endeavors. If your kid is just playing ASO soccer or rec league softball or baseball or t-ball, it's probably, unless you guys are planning to go further than that, or you're going to dig deeper, if it's like the first year and you're just feeling it out and you're trying some stuff out, I don't know, maybe not, right? But if you have at all any seriousness about your child playing sports further, or you think that they're going to like it and they're going to want to play sports past youth level, even middle school or high school, then now. The answer is right now, right? As soon as you think that that's what you guys are going to do, you need to start doing it. Because as the level of competition increases, you have to keep up, or else you're going to get left behind. Your child is going to have a bad experience, and that may, ruin their experiences with sports forever, right? And so when you're starting them out, it's a tough line, right? Because you want them to learn the skills of the sport. If it's soccer, obviously they have to learn how to move the ball with their feet, which is a foreign concept to most kids, because most of what they learn to do is with their hands until they get into a sport like soccer, where now they have to use their feet to control the ball. In baseball and softball, they have to learn to be able to get into certain positions in order to swing the bat. They have to learn how to track a ball coming off a bat from a distance. In football, they got to learn the positions, all that stuff, right? You have to learn the technical and tactical aspects of the sport. So that's extremely important. Hitting lessons are going to be important. Fielding lessons are going to be important. Off-season skill work with a qualified coach is going to be important. However, if your interest is in building a better athlete, not a better sport player, but a better athlete in general, right? Better coordination, faster, more explosive, better strength in relation to their body weight, so relative strength, just creating a better platform to place athleticism on, or to place sport on, you need to start them with some type of training. And I would go as far as to say that you need to have a qualified professional administer that training. Now, granted, you may have been an All-American, you may have played professionally, you may be the best in your city, you may have been all-league, all-state, all-globe, but if you are not professionally equipped to train that athlete's athleticism, not their skill, then you're going to do your child a disservice. At some point, it is going to backfire, and it's just a matter of how long you're willing to wait. There are too many other people that are involved in strength and conditioning now, in athletic performance now, for you to allow your child to stay out of it. Right? Going to your local commercial gym and doing some random workouts is not going to be enough. Getting some bands and some resistance band stuff that you saw on the internet or that you YouTube is not going to be enough. If you are just randomly making something out, it's not going to be enough. If you're just doing the main site CrossFit WOD of the day, is not going to be enough. Okay, What you need is a properly periodized program that progresses your athlete from where they are to where you want them to be, and is administered by a qualified professional that can look at your child and their movement competency and their movement dexterity and know where the adjustments need to be made, right? What they need is to be sprinting full speed multiple times a week. They need to be training their body multiple times a week. And it can definitely start with body weight movements. There's nothing wrong with body weight. There's nothing wrong with resistance bands. The problem is, if that's all you're going to use, then you're going to have problems. If you are just making up something, you're going to have problems. You need to make sure, just like anything else that you would do for your child, you're going to do it right. Like, you send your kids to school, they go to school 5 days a week. There's a reason for that. Some of that is you know, so you can go to work 5 days a week, so you can make money to pay for all the stuff that they need. But then also, like, they don't go to math class once a week and then assume that they're going to be good enough to you know, pass the test. Or they don't go to English once a week and then we expect their reading comprehension and their literacy to be through the roof, right? They go multiple times a week, and every time they go into class, hopefully, it's a addition to what they learned the last time. And that's what their strength and conditioning program should be. That's what their training program should be. It should not just be going to the park with some guy who played, or girl who played at a high level, and now they're just going to run them into the ground where they're tired and they're throwing up. Again, conditioning is important. They definitely need to be conditioned, but just being fatigued or just being tired is not going to get them to the level you want. For a while, when they're young and they're little, you can just throw anything at them and they will get better. Like, you can literally just throw paint at the wall and consider yourself an artist. But if it does not progress past that, at some point people are going to look at that and be like, that's not really art. That guy's just throwing paint on the wall, right? Or in the terms of strength conditioning, that's not going to be good enough. You know, you have to start taking their athleticism seriously, right? Playing the guessing game and kind of hoping that things work out, it might, right? It might, but it also might not. So I would say take the same kind of passion and vigor that you have for their education. You know, you want them to get good grades. You want them to be in class every day. You want them to pay attention. You want them to be learning constantly. You know, you want the teachers to provide them an environment that's conducive for learning. But then as an athlete, you take them to one hitting lesson, one practice, and then you want them to be the star of the team. Just doesn't add up. So if that is what you want, if you and your child and your family are serious about your child playing sports, then you have to be serious about everything that goes along with it. You can't pick and choose when you're going to be serious, because it is going to catch up with you. And then at some point, usually around high school, they start running into kids that are more serious, that have been working hard, that are dedicated, right? And when they run up against those kids, all of a sudden, it's the coach's fault. Coaches don't like me. Coach ain't looking out for me. Everybody's sleeping on me. And they're not. They're not asleep. They're working. They're not paying attention to you, right? So you have to make sure, and it's happening more and more. Like, people are getting more and more serious about their athletic future earlier. I can't tell you the number of 5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds that I train on a daily basis, right? And if kids at 5, 6, 7, 8 are starting to train, like, I don't do too many 5-year-olds just because I feel like it's too early. I don't do really too many 6s, but 7s and 8s come in all the time. So it's important. If it's important to you, then you got to make sure you make it a priority, right? Start prioritizing their fitness. if for no other reason than injury prevention, right? Because being stronger makes you more resilient, right? If you don't want to have to pay the medical bills for your kid tearing up their knee or being hurt, or that being the reason that they aren't able to be a success in their sport, then you have to start taking advantage of the opportunity to find a qualified, and I can repeat, qualified strength and conditioning professional, not some Instagram guru, not some guy that played a sport really well in your neighborhood, not that guy, unless they have qualifications to go along with it. What you need is someone to be able to look at your child and see their strengths and weaknesses and be able to attack their weaknesses while improving their strengths. Not someone who is going to take a program that they did in college and be like, oh, it worked for me, or this is what they did when I was in school, and throw that at them. That is not going to work. That is not going to be enough. Hope that that resonates with some of you. I don't care where you go to train. I'm not asking for anybody to come train with me at all. Like my schedule's full. But if you have somewhere nearby, right? Do your homework, do your research, shop around, find somewhere nearby that can help you and your athlete